Hi guys, it's Nikki, Creative Nikki's Homemade Crafts. Today I would like to teach you certain parts of my new pattern, which is called the Royal Granny Shawl. So I've noticed that some people had trouble with a certain part of the pattern, which is why I'm making this video. So of course most people did not have trouble with this part right here because it's simple granny stitches. However, I will still show you one row of that so that you can see and how it kind of comes about. And then the problem area that most people had is the crossover right here. Let me kind of show you. It is pretty much the same thing, just that the granny stitches are crossed over. So I will show you both of those, and that way you shouldn't have any problems doing the entire pattern, because that's pretty much how the whole thing is made out of. It's just increasing in size and more stitches, but otherwise it's those two rows that you're going to need for the entire pattern. Okay, so let's get started. I have here a little teeny tiny swatch of that pattern, which is pretty much, you know, the first part of it. So let me show you first. You make it a hint brighter again. Okay, so let me first show you how to do a normal row of those granny stitches, right? So I have here a chain of 3, which you always have in the beginning of every row, and it counts as a double crochet. Then you are going to do 2 more double crochets, and then you're going always into the spaces between the double crochet clusters, right? Those are granny stitches. 3 of them together are granny stitch. Okay, so in the cluster between, okay? So you're going to go in here and doing 3 double crochets every time you see a space in between. So here you do it again. So 1 granny stitch is always 3 double crochets. Very easy. Now once you go to the corner, you are going to do 2 of them and have a chain of 2 in between. So here I'm making 3 double crochets, and now you're going to do a chain of 2. You're going to do 3 again, 3 double crochets. So that way you're expanding the triangle. Alright. Now we have here 2 more spaces, and in the corner right here, okay? So another granny stitch, very easy. And another one. By the way, in case you're interested, I am using a furrows crochet hook. There should be a link below, or if you're on my website, there should be a link right there too on how to get your own. These are really, really good ergonomically. Okay, now we finished that. You can see now this is the next row, right? It's just granny stitches. So now we're going into a row. So this is the next row would in the pattern not be the row that has the crossovers. I'm just doing a swatch here so you can see it, okay? So this, the first row where you experience these crossovers would be row 10, okay? And then there is other rows also that have that. Okay, so let's start it. So the very first stitch very first and very last ones are normal granny stitches. So you have a chain of 3, and you're going to do 2 more double crochets. Okay, now is where we're going to start the crossover. Okay, so we're going to skip the very first space right here where my thumb is, where well, I have 2 thumbs, but this one, the one that I'm pointing at. Okay, and then we're going into the next one. You're doing a simple granny stitch, which is 3 double crochets, but you're pulling it a little bit further so that you're not making it all wobbly. Okay, you're just pulling it a little longer. So again, when you go through that first pull, you know, from the stitch that you're creating, make it a little longer. Okay, so those 3 double crochets, just a little longer, right? Now you're going back to that stitch that you skipped, and you do the same thing. You're just pulling it a little longer. Do you see that? And just doing a normal double crochet. 3 of those. Just pulling a little longer. I have a yarn tangle here. That's pretty much all there is to it. You just crossing them over. I'm not sure why my yarn is tangled. Okay, let's do that again. But here we're going to do it on a corner. Now the way I'm doing it here is not how it happens every time. So let me show you. On row 10 here you're going to have a normal 2 granny stitches with a chain of 2. Okay, but for example the next time you're doing it you have that crossover. Oops, it's a little bit bright. Here we go. Okay, so you can see that when you counted the stitches, you're going to notice that sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. So here it didn't work out that I was able to do a normal granny stitch. So here I had to do the crossover on the corner, which is totally fine. It's the same way, and you're just having a chain of 2 in between. So let me do that for you. Okay, so again, you're just doing exactly the same way. You're skipping a stitch right here, and you're going into that corner. Okay, you're doing the stitches relatively longer than you normally would. You could ask, why in the world am I not using a treble crochet? Well, because the first loop is the part that is important. The treble just adds it on top afterwards. So that's why I'm not using treble. Okay, so now I did my 3 double crochets. Now I'm going to go back to that stitch that I skipped and do the same thing as I did before. Just pull it a little longer on that first loop that you're pulling through. So which would be right here. Just pulling a little longer. Okay, there we go. Now as we are on that corner stitch, we have to now do a chain of 2 because now we're going to the opposite side, right? So there's 1 stitch missing in the corner. We're skipping that one and we're going to the next one. Again, we're making it a little longer. Alright, now we're going back to that corner stitch, which is right here. I should maybe make it brighter again, I apologize. Here we go. And you're going back into that corner stitch, you're making it a little longer. Again, that's really all there is to it. You're just crossing them over. Okay. Now we have 2 more right here. You're skipping the first. You're going first into the second. Just creating longer double crochets. That's pretty much all you're doing. Now you're going to the skipped one and doing the same thing. Okay, and now you have just that corner stitch, which is just a normal 3 double crochets, and then you would chain 3 and turn, and then you're going to go back with the normal rows. Okay, so you're going to just go, when you come down to this, let me just do a few of those so you can see it. So here we're going to do our double crochets again. I apologize for my little yarn barf here. I'm not sure how that came about. Okay, so here's our normal double crochet cluster. You're going into the space next and just keep going every time 3. So that includes between those crossovers. So you're just going between the crossover, going right in between, and just doing your double crochets. Let me do one more. So here again, there's a space right there, and that's where you're going into and doing your double crochets. Okay, and then you would just keep on going all the way around. Then here would be the corner again, right? You're just going to do the normal double crochets with the chain 2 in between, and then you just keep on going. So, and that's pretty much how you do those parts. Very easy, very straightforward. I hope this video was helpful on how to do those parts, and I hope you could like, comment, and share this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, you guys. Bye!